Welcome to the Fundamentals of Fitness. This is the podcast where we strip away the noise, the guilt, and the unrealistic expectations around health and fitness. And then we focus on what actually works in real life. I'm Alison, your no-nonsense coach. Today, we're going to talk about something that can catch a lot of people out because it feels like it's the answer, and often it's the exact reason people stay stuck. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, you're training with consistency, you're eating really well, you're putting all the effort in and still not seeing the results that you're expecting, your first instinct is usually, I need to do more. More training or more cardio, more restriction, more effort maybe. On the surface, this makes sense, right? Because we're taught that hard work equals results. But in fitness, that's not always true. Because effort without direction doesn't create progress. Sometimes it just creates fatigue. And today, we're going to break that all down for you. So pop on those trainers or grab that cuppa and let's dive right in. So why does more feel like the answer? And when our progress slows, we look for a solution. And the most obvious one is this: do more, right? Because it feels productive, it feels proactive, and it feels like you're taking control. But often it's just adding noise. See, let's look at the psychological pull of more. Doing more gives you a sense of control. If something isn't working, increasing the effort feels like the logical next step. But that response is emotional and not always effective. So let's look at the behavior pattern. Progress will slow. Frustration increases. Effort increases. Recovery decreases. And progress stalls further. And then suddenly you're working harder, but still not getting anywhere for worse results. In performance sports, this is well understood. There is a fine line between productive overload and excessive stress. Too little stress equals no progress. Too much stress equals no recovery. And both lead to the same place: no improvement. Let's look at a relatively common example. Let's say a client hits a plateau. So what they think they should do is they add extra cardio. They might reduce their calories. They'll increase the training frequency. And at first, it feels like progress. But then the fatigue builds, the performance drops, and the recovery slows down. And then the results stall again. This is because the issue wasn't effort. It was just direction. Have you ever responded to slow progress by doing more? Maybe more sessions, or more restriction, or more pressure. And did it actually solve the problem? Or did it just make things harder? So let's look at the physiology of doing too much. And this is where we need to slow right down, because this is where people misunderstand what's happening. Your body doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to the balance between stress and recovery. And let's delve into the stress recovery model. Every training session you do creates stress. That's the whole point. You're creating mechanical tension, metabolic stress, neurological demand. And all of that disrupts your body's baseline. And that disruption is the signal. But the result? That doesn't come from the signal. It comes from what happens after. Progress happens during recovery. When your body repairs muscle, restores energy, regulates hormones, it adapts to training. No recovery, no adaptation. So what happens when you actually do too much? And when you increase your training or you reduce your calories, you increase stress, but your recovery capacity doesn't increase with it. It often decreases. And when stress stays high, your cortisol increases, your recovery hormones decrease, and your metabolism adapts. This means you're doing more, but progressing less. If you train more and eat less, you reduce the energy available to your body. And energy isn't just for training. It's for recovery, hormone function, adaptation. So your body prioritizes the survival, not the progress. You'll also get nervous system fatigue. Training isn't just physical, it's neurological. When the nervous system is fatigued, your sessions will feel harder, your strength may drop, and your coordination can decrease. So you think you need to push harder, where actually you need recovery. There's an accumulation effect. Fatigue builds over time, session by session, day by day, until your performance drops, your motivation dips, and your consistency stops altogether. And it often feels like nothing is working. The trap is that you feel stuck, so you do more, when it increases fatigue and it makes the problem much worse. So why does hard work not always equal progress? Hard work really matters, but it's just not enough, because effort without direction is just stress. And there is a missing piece here: precision. Progress comes from applying the right stimulus at the right time with enough recovery, not from doing everything all at the same time. The illusion of productivity is where people often get caught. They feel like they're doing everything: more sessions, more structure, more detail. And because it feels like effort, it feels like progress. But effort is not the same as effectiveness. More training is also not always better. Each session has a cost. If the cost exceeds your ability to recover, then your progress will stop. See, athletes don't just train hard. They control intensity, volume, and recovery, because balance creates progress. So you may find yourself that you are one of these people who is doing everything. You may be working out 5 times a week. You may think you're getting enough sleep. You're upping your protein. You're reducing your calories, but nothing is working. In reality, you might have too much volume, not enough recovery, and therefore no progression. So your effort is high, but your results are low. There is a key formula. Progression equals stimulus plus recovery plus consistency. You remove one, and it doesn't work. That's the reality here. So if more isn't the answer, what is? Step 1, identify your limiting factor. Instead of adding more, ask what's actually holding me back. Usually, it can be recovery or your structure, consistency, or your energy intake. It's not always your effort. Step 2, improve quality. Better sessions, better execution, better focus. Not more sessions, just better sessions. Step 3, respect your recovery. Recovery is where progress happens, remember? Sleep, nutrition, rest. Without it, your training doesn't work. Step 4, minimum effective dose. You don't always need maximum effort. You need just enough. The smallest amount required to progress. That's sustainable. That's repeatable. And that's effective. Step 5, stay consistent. Consistency beats intensity every time. Moderate effort done consistently will always beat extreme effort done occasionally. So let's have a reframe here. You don't need to do more. You need to do what works and remove what doesn't. So if you've been working really hard, but just not seeing those results, it is not because you're not trying hard enough. It's because effort alone is not the answer. Progress comes from structure, recovery, and consistency, not just effort. And once you understand this, you'll stop chasing more, you'll stop adding more, you'll stop restricting more, and you'll start building better. And if this episode has helped you rethink how you approach your training, share it with someone who feels like they're doing everything, but they're still stuck. Because sometimes the answer isn't more, it's better. Until next time, train with structure, recover with intention, and build something that lasts. I'll see you in the next one.